What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new to my channel, you might as well go hit the subscribe button, give me a like, and leave me a comment. Like, that's just like the proper thing to do when you're being nice and being polite, I think. Anyways, guys, to all my inside gang, welcome back. If you guys don't know, I'm not at home. I'm actually in Nevada right now, and for work reasons. So I won't be filming in my house right now for like the next whatever time we're here. Not really sure how long we're here, but I'm in my friend's room right now because she has better lighting in over here. Yeah, so we're gonna get started today with this video. Today's gonna be a story time about how I had a stalker ex. Yeah, really crazy. I've been meaning to put this story out. I got all my receipts and all my bills, you know what I'm saying, to post up on here. So I'm gonna be like putting stuff up in the little, yeah, up here. And we're gonna get started with this video. Yeah, and don't forget that Military Mondays are still a thing for me. So we're gonna get into this video. So this takes place back when I was 17 years old. And I was using this app called Badoo. Now Badoo is a dating app. I'm gonna put it up here. Badoo is a dating app, and it basically shows you like people around in your area, obviously, and it, you know, you can scroll and look at the pictures and click on them and message them and stuff like that. Well, this girl finds me. Her name, we're gonna call her, I don't know, we're gonna call her the stalker. So the stalker found me, right? And she hit me up and she's like, hey, how you doing, blah blah blah. Now she was like 22 and I was 17. I shouldn't have been on the app. It was only for 18 and older, but whatever, we not gonna discuss that. But she found me on there and we started chit-chatting, you know, we exchanged numbers, and I got to start to get to know her. So I was 17 and still in high school, and I was going to the Navy. That's basically all she knew about me. You know, I played sports, I played track. I wasn't at ROTC at that point in time, but I was like in speech and debate, you know, just little stuff. I worked at McDonald's. Like, there was nothing really interesting about me as being a 17-year-old, unless I was dating somebody else that was like going to school with me or was around the same age as me. But somehow she found interest in me. Now for me, it was very exciting to talk to somebody that was like older. She was 22. She told me that she went to the University of Memphis. She told me that she played basketball for the University of Memphis and that she was studying law. Wow, things that I'm interested in, you know, like, yeah, you got your whole spill together, and I think that you're gonna be a very successful person. So, you know, why not talk to you, you know, since you're interested in me. Okay, so everything was cool. Now she lived about a good 30 minutes away from me. Now I had a car, so it wasn't a problem. So the first thing that came up, we decided we were gonna hang out and we were gonna go and we're gonna go to the mall. Well, she told me that her car was broken down and that her mom had her mom's car was broken down, and she had gave her car to her mom to drive. Okay, understandable, like that's cool, you know, whatever. So I told her I'll pick her up. So I drove all the way out there and I picked her up. Well, we went to the mall and I was like, hey, you know, I'm a little hungry. And she's like, oh, well, I don't have any money, you know, I don't get paid this week, I get paid next week. And I was like, okay. So I was like, oh, well, so where you work? And she's like, oh, I work at the zoo. So I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. Like, you know, like, you have like a very interesting like life to me, you know, as a kid. And we just walked around the mall. So I was like, I don't like the fact that we just walked around the mall, but whatever, like it was the first date. So the second time we hung out, we basically, she came out my way, but I had to go pick her up. So I had to go pick her up and she came out my way, and we went shopping for her basketball shoes. Now during this process, when we were shopping for her basketball shoes, she never even bought basketball shoes. We just literally looked at shoes. So I was just like, okay, like this is kind of, you know, whatever. And while we were shopping for these shoes, we're in like this outlet mall, and so it was outside mall. So we came outside from finish line. She looked over, she's like, my ex works over there at Route 21. And I'm like, oh, wow, interesting. She's like, come on, let's go over in there, you know, let's go in there and see she at work. And I'm like, I don't think I want to go over there. You know, I don't shop at Route 21, and I just don't want to go on Route 21 at all. And definitely not to maybe spot your ex, you know, like, okay. So she was like, okay, we can go. So we leave and we go back to my house. We chill for a little while. Nothing, you know, happens. Nothing happened. as far as like kissing, probably, but nothing happened. So it was cool. Like I was like, okay, cool. Like, you know, nothing too shabby, nothing bad happening right now. So we're gonna fast forward now to like 2 weeks after that. So 2 weeks is in now, and now I'm talking to like my friends about her, telling my friends about her. So one of my friends, my best friend, told me that she has a very bad vibe about her, that something's off about her, and that she doesn't know what it is, but she just thinks I should not be talking to her. So I was like, okay, like we're gonna figure this out together, because you know, like I just can't go off of that. Well, I had another male friend that was pretty cool. He was older, and he was like, you know, tell me about your girl. So I'm telling him like, yeah, she plays basketball here, blah blah blah. Oh, she played basketball? I love watching basketball. Like, we gotta go watch her hoop and you know cheer her on and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, cool, like, yeah. He was like, oh my god, he was like, show me what she looks like, let's go look at the roster. Put up the roster. Y'all, she not any of them, not even 4 years back. And I'm like, okay, well maybe she's just a coach or something of that sort. No, because crazy part is University of Memphis, they show you the basically the water boy, the team support, they show you everybody who is involved in the team, and she was nowhere to be found on any of that. And I was just like, okay. So I was just like, wow, like, okay, so she doesn't play basketball. So does she even go to the school at this point? Like, if you learn that you play basketball, you had me go looking for basketball shoes. Like, what's up with that? Like, okay. So that passes by, and I'm kind of getting a little worried, and I'm thinking about, like, does she even go to school? Like, and it was just turning me off. So I, you know, was just like, okay. The same day I went to work, she pops up on me at work at like 10 o'clock at night. And I told her like, hey, I don't get off until 1 o'clock in the morning. And she's like, oh, that's okay, it's cool, I got dropped off. Like, I'm gonna stay here. And so I'm like, you're gonna wait in McDonald's lobby for me to get off? Like, I don't want to hang out, we didn't make any plans, like, you know, I don't want any of this. And quite frankly, I was getting ready to try to, you know, leave you, you know. So I was really scared, and basically the whole entire night, like, she just sitting up in the lobby, and I was just like, hey, like, I'm trying to make up this lie so I can get up out of this. So I had my friend, you know, tell me, well, basically I was telling her like, look, like, let me just kind of like tell her that I can't, you know, I don't want to do this or whatever like that. But it's not gonna be today, so I need you to make up a lie so I can go with you home or whatever to ride with you. So long story short, that her friend came back up there for her, and I basically telling her like, hey, you can't come over my house tonight, like, you know, I can't hang out, like, I gotta go home, my mom wants me, you know, type thing. And my car isn't working, so she's gonna, you know, take me home. So literally I got in the car with my friend, and she's like pretending to drive me home, and she has to pretend because this girl starts following us and her friend's vehicle. And so now we're just kind of like, okay, this girl is like really weird, you know. So like we did some loop-de-loops and stuff like that, and like finally we got rid of them. She took me back up to McDonald's, and I got my car, and she kind of trailed me home to make sure I got home safely. So when I got home, I was just so fed up, and I was just so like, you know, that I had to just tell her. And I was just like, hey, listen, I'm 17, you're like 22, you're lying to me about going to school, you're lying to me about being on a basketball team, you know, you actually don't. I ended up finding out she doesn't actually work at the zoo, and basically she didn't have a car, she didn't have anything. Like, she was just these are just made up lies. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you know, you're 22 years old and I'm 17, there's not much that you should lie about to impress a 17-year-old. So no, I'm okay, I'm not interested. Like, this is just ending. Remind you that me and her have never done anything. We've only been talking about 3 weeks at this point. And she was ballistic, like, she just went crazy. Like, she was just like going like berserk, you know. And I'm just like, yo, like, it's not that serious. Like, you should not be, you know, trying to talk to me and go all crazy like this, you know. Long story short, I thought I got rid of her, and I thought finally, you know, this is the end. Like, finally I got rid of her. Like, thank you, Jesus. Boy, was I wrong. Like, what, you know, like, I'm talking about I was like negative 14% wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just failed a college test wrong type. wrong, okay? I was wrong. So she basically ended up making this post about me on Instagram and tagging me in it, but it was from a fake page, a page that I didn't know, and a page obviously that wasn't ran by anybody. So it was weird. So she basically made this post, and it was like with my picture, and it was basically like, oh, this girl's bi, she'll do anything for cheap change, like basically like saying I was a prostitute. And it was really weird, like, and I was like, oh, it has to be from her, like it had to be from her. But I just untagged myself for the post, and I just went on about my day. Well, then I started getting follows from like random fake pages of like the finest people in the world, like people you just be like, So she tried to have like, she basically was making these fake pages of these people, or she already had them because they had like followers, they had like videos, stuff like that, but you could just tell that the page was fake. Like it had to be a catfish. Had them in my inbox, said, hey, I want to take you out, you fine. And I'm like, boy, girl, no, like I'm not falling for this. And but I was trying to extract so much information out of them, just like she was trying to extract so much information out of me, because she wanted to basically set me up. So in the process of this, she basically ended up texting me from like this text app saying that, hey, you still got my shoes and they're at your house, my Nike slides. And I'm like, no, Nike slides, and it was of Air Maxes. And so I'm like, okay, girl, like you can have it back, like I don't care, like you can have this back. And she basically was like, okay, well then bring it to me, bring it back to my house. I was like, okay, obviously I knew I was gonna bring them to you because you don't have a car and you don't have any means of transportation, but I will gladly bring them back. So I rode with two of my friends. We're gonna call one of my friends, we was gonna call them Kayla and Tamia. Kayla and Tamia rode with me in the car all the way 30 minutes away to her house. We rode up to her house and we texted her, was like, hey, we're outside, you can come get your shoes. So she comes outside and she's like, yeah, come on, like come up in the yard, come up in the yard. Okay, for one, girl, I'm not crazy. One, you gonna try to get me in this yard, you're gonna try to beat me up, and then after you try to beat me up, you're gonna try to basically claim self-defense and all that stuff like that, and then we're on your property. No, no ma'am, no thank you, you can take that back. So I was just like, come get the shoes and like let me go. And she was just like, no, come up in the yard. So my friend was like, okay girl, here go your shoes. Okay, and she threw them outside, and then we were like, we gone. So we started driving off, and as soon as we started driving off, a police had pulled up, and we was like, oh, she really was trying to set us up. She was really trying to set us up. And I was just like, wow. So we just laughing, we're on our way home, and she started texting again from another number, you some shaky girls, like boo, blah 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 blah, like y'all don't want to fight, you know, blah blah blah. So we just like, girl, you was really trying to sit up here and set us up, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that serious to fight over. Get your shoes and get out of my life. I do not want you, nothing. And she basically was like, we on the way, we right behind you on the highway, we gonna I'm rolling on the highway, I'm gonna get you. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, girl, who did you convince to get a ride with somebody anyway to go follow your ex? Like, your friends are just as weird as you know what I'm saying? Or in my mind I'm thinking, like, what is she telling them to make them give her a ride to come down? Now remind you, we live, like, I lived 5 minutes away at this point in time from Memphis, Tennessee, so she had to actually cross the line to go over to another state, you know what I'm saying? Like, what, why? Like, why? Anyways, though, everything was going good. My day was going great after that, until I dropped my friend Tamia off, and I dropped her off, and then I went with somebody else somewhere else. Well, I went with Kayla somewhere else, and then basically Tamia called me and was like, hey, you need to come home. And I'm like, for what? And she was like, hey, like, you just need to come home, like something happened, you need to come home. I'm like, for what, girl? Like, what's going on? She's like, just come home. And she hung up on me. And then I was like, okay. But then I'm thinking, like, something ain't right. And then Tamia called me again. She was like, hey girl, don't come home. Them people are over here. And she with a friend, she got a book bag, and I think she got a gun in it, and she got some knives in there, and she's basically saying that she gonna get you, basically, you know what I'm saying? Like, and she was like, she stopped me while I was throwing something away at the trash can because she knew who I was. She was like basically canvassing the neighborhood for my car. And I was just like, yo, I'm 17. There's no way that this girl's going crazy about me. We're only talking for 3 weeks. We were only talking for 3 weeks. Are you serious right now? And I didn't come home, but I pulled up. I basically they were waiting on me. She basically to me told me that they were waiting on me, and that I had to come home that night, you know, that they were just waiting. And so then I pulled up like in another side of the apartment complex, and I was watching them, and their car was out there. They were standing outside the car, and basically it was just like, oh my, like, this is crazy. So she already been on my house before, and she already knew where I lived at, so that really didn't help me out. So I ended up calling my mom, and I was like, Mom, blah 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 blah, and I told her everything. So my mom called the police and came outside and was like, what are you doing over here? So I pulled up with my mom, and me and Kayla got out the car, and my mom was like, you just came to my door and knocked on my door and asked me was I here, you know. And asked my mom where I was, and my mom told her that I wasn't there, and that she had a book bag with her. So I'm like, dang, like she could have really tried to do something to my mom, like, you know what I'm saying, like girl, you crazy. So she basically was like, when the police came up, she basically was saying like, oh, I just came over here for my shoes or whatever like that. And I'm like, my mama was like, okay. I was like, I can't find her shoes, first of all. And there were some Nike slides. And basically my mom was like, I'll just give you the money back for those slides, like whatever. And she was like, oh, they was $50. My mom was like, they're not $50, or they're $25. So you better stop playing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, be for real with yourself. So my mama basically was like, we'll give you your money back. And I ended up finding them in the midst of all this going on, and I just threw them to her. And I was just like, girl, stop lying. Like, you really on some stalker stuff right now. Like, you really are. Like, you didn't come all the way over here for no Nike slides. And she basically like, oh yeah, I came all the way over for some Nike slides. I'm just like, girl, boo. So anyways, though, they got in a whole big commotion. The police basically did not arrest her that night. They ended up telling her that she cannot cross the line anymore to come over in the state, and if she did, that they would arrest her. So that was that on that. I thought I got rid of her and got out of my life. No, she continued to stalk me for about 3 to 4 months. She ended up slashing my mom's tires. She kept coming to the house. She was stalking me on social media. She stalked all my friends on social media. She continued to make fake pages to talk to me, to try to get people to talk to me, to lure me somewhere, to basically hurt me. She ended up talking to all other people at my school that knew me and stuff like that, was trying to get them to, like, you know, turn against me, just saying weird stuff about me. And it was just so weird because, like, girl, you were like a whole, like, stalker. And I would have never thought a day in my life that I would have a stalker, and I never thought I would have a stalker at that young of age. Like, it was just really mad creepy. And people were telling me that she was making these pages, she was talking to these people, like she was just saying, like, and doing like a whole lot of stuff that I just, like, I couldn't understand. I just was really, like, upset about. Like, it was crazy. And she just wouldn't leave me alone. And then finally she leaves me alone. I'm just like, oh, thank God. Like, she's gone. She's gone out of my life. I'll never have to see her again. Thank you, Jesus. And so now here I am at 22 years old. And now something bigger than, like, popped off. So this girl ended up popping back up kind of in my life when she started to basically try to be friends with my ex-girlfriend and try to talk to my ex-girlfriend. And I saw her communicating with her, and I tried to let my ex-girlfriend know about her. And my ex-girlfriend basically was like, yeah, I know, like, I'm not crazy, like, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, cool, that on that. And then maybe a couple weeks later, I ended up telling somebody else about this girl. And this particular girl, me and her were, like, conversating. And then she told me that her friend got stalked by this same exact girl. So I was like, wow, like, I feel so much better, but I feel really bad that this girl is like a serial stalker. Like, she literally stalks everybody that she talks to. So now, on the other hand, I was just like, okay, but as long as she's not stalking me. A week or two later, the girl that I was conversating with ends up tagging me in this post. And let me read you the post. Quote, this girl is going too far. I refuse for my life to get messed up because of an ignorant, unclassified wannabe. To all my immediate family and friends, please be aware of blank blank blank, whose name used to be blank blank blank. Facebook pages is Tank Townsend and Trozall T. Lewis. She is a catfish. Trozall T. Lewis is one of her catfish pages. His page is not real. Look at the pictures. Look at the likes, pictures, and comments and friends list. Please report and block these pages. This is the same girl who I have a order of protection against. The same girl who keeps harassing and threatening me and my son now is going towards my family. She just got out of jail in August for doing the same exact thing of stalking to her ex, Alexis Brown, whom she made a felony at the age of 18 off of false lies. I refuse to let this girl mess up my life. I have too much to lose. This is not a joke. This is serious. I will not let this girl mess up my life. I cannot say this enough. She is now contacting my family members, spreading lies and false information about me. Please be aware that this girl is crazy and delusional and very loony. Every time I try to speak on what's going on social media, because for some reason the retarded female loves attention and even just went viral off of me, she calls me tremendously, private text messages, my phone from random numbers, sending threats, lying on me and saying I'm trying to send her to jail on false charges when everything is true. The police would not have put out a warrant for her arrest if I did not come with our proof. I have proof of everything. This girl has a fake tattoo of my real name on her arm. The same girl has made false reports against me and my little sister, which the sergeants have found to be untrue, and they have all been dropped. I am the 8th female that she's done this to. Still trying to see how did she become friends with a lot of y'all on Facebook when she doesn't even know y'all. And then she goes to post up a picture of this on October 13, 2017 at the hours of 18:45. They responded to Alexis Brown, where she and her friend were at her mom's house, and the ex-girlfriend pulled up and the black Kia wanted to fight her. Brown and them basically said that Townsend pulled out a knife and threatened to stab Brown, and all the time grabbed her, pulled her into the house, advised her the two recently that broke up, and since the breakup, Townsend has been stalking and sending threatening messages and causing Brown to be fearful for her life. Brown advised her to believe that Townsend left. She grabbed her and put her back in the front, and she grabbed a backpack and fled with an iPad and some other stuff that she fled with. So basically, she basically tried to kill her ex, and this was with a she had a witness, and she basically showed whatever. I'm gonna put a picture of that in the description box. I mean, well, I'm gonna put it up here. I'm gonna put a picture of my stalker up here, and I'll put a picture of her Facebook up here. And so she's also been arrested. She was arrested for a violation of protection order because they had a protection order against her. Honestly, this girl is freaking crazy. Like I said, she makes fake pages, she stalks people, and she just does crazy things, and it's really scary, honestly, that people will do this. She's had more than 8 victims. It seems like everybody she talks to or does not want to talk to her that she's dated, you know, she tends to want to stalk them. Very scary situation. I honestly tell people to try to be careful, but you never know. You never know who's out to get you. You never know who wants to do something to you. You just never know, and it's very, 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 very scary. Honestly, I can say that just be careful, guys. Like, honestly, I'm glad I made it out. I'm glad that nothing ever happened to me, but she needs to be stopped. And this is not really like a funny story time. This is like real deal stuff, like, and it's just something that I decided that I want to talk about. But that is my story on, you know, being stalked. Yeah, kind of scary, and I'm glad that I didn't have to go in depth with all this stuff, but I'm glad she left me alone, thank God. But yeah, be aware of people, you know, become madly obsessed with you for no reason, and obviously she has a problem because she stalks everybody. But that literally is the ending of my story. If you would like to see more videos and you just like my personality and you just love what you're hearing and you're seeing, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to leave me a like and then comment. That's like literally it. Like, who doesn't say this in their videos? Everybody does. But I will be coming at you with more story times. I will be coming at you with more military videos, challenges, pranks, everything you like to see. And I'll be coming hot and heavy the month of March and the month of April. But if you like what you see, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I will be back to you guys with more videos.